The notion of railways as a public form of transportation was developed in those small islands off the coast of Europe that had such a disproportionate effect on world history. In the Victorian age, named after its queen, Great Britain reached a peak of world influence through the efforts of its people. One of the most famous Victorians was Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and his ability to convert his visions to reality was truly one of the wonders of the age. Today, we can still see many of his creations, the great Paddington railway station in West London being perhaps the most seen. And so it was in the early 1960s when the steam locomotive, which Brunel had so helped advance, was in its last years of service as modern Britain cast off its Victorian past. Some people realized that it wasn't a bad past and set out to record its virtues. Amongst them was Richard Willis, whose particular passion was for the railways that had been the technological foundation for the greatness of Victorian Britain, and especially the steam locomotives that had been the power that created it. Of all the railways of Great Britain, only the Great Western could trace its history as an entity over more than a century. In 1963, when these scenes were recorded at Paddington, the continuous lineage of its locomotives still bore the style of that proud heritage, all the engines seen here having been built to the designs of its last CME, Hawksworth, yet still being recognizably Churchwood in style. But it was all changing too quickly. Locomotives were looking run down and uncared for as the nationalized British Railways pursued a policy of the rapid phasing out of steam and its replacement by modern diesels and electrics. The Western region, which had taken over the old GWR territory, still showed signs of independence of thought and was replacing these halls with diesel hydraulic machines, which were unique to the Western. It would be the first region to eliminate steam altogether. Fathers and sons would still inhabit the end of platforms with spotters' books for a little while longer, but the steam locomotive was now near the end of its life. So were many branch and local railways, as the radical shake-up of the British Railways system was accelerated by the notorious Beeching Report, which deemed many of them expendable in the interests of greater efficiency.